File storage. The next storage we'll talk about, or the subset of storage or subcategory, is a file storage. That's basically a fully managed storage for file sharing in the cloud, which you can access via so-called SMB, server message block protocol. The SMB is basically a protocol for sharing files, but also printers and other resources. So this is very, as the name suggests, of the file storage, we'll talk about sharing files. And you just want to share files, for example, for application data or directories of users, backup storage. They are mostly rather cheap storages. You can use it for enterprise file sharing, for example, each department, let's say marketing, finance, HR has a different space, so you want to have the files separated for them, but also for project shares, those which are active, those which are archived, and user shares like personal storage or home directories. Of course, for application storage, for example, you can have configuration files like app settings or environment configs, share resources like templates, data files, input output data. If this is a file, then of course for backup you can use it for file backups, but also for system backups like operating system and disaster recovery, for example replicas. But you don't need to know what is a replica for now. Performance features, so they of course depend by the plan. You will get what you want to pay for, and there's also they call it hybrid caching, so there's some kind of caching, but for now you are good. So I will just quickly go to Portal Azure. I haven't deleted my storage account, so for a purpose, because I knew that I will want to be here. And then we have been here in containers, if you remember. And now we are going to the second part before going to later to file shares. And now here we can create a file share. So I will create a file share, my file share, access type. I can select what I want. For example, transaction optimizes the lowest transaction cost pricing for transaction heavy workloads. Hot is a balanced one. And by the way, has recommendation while migrating to Azure files, go for transaction. And cool. Yeah, I will go for a cool one because I don't want to pay now for a sample course. So I go to next, backup. I go to a file name created by default. I leave it. Resource group is pre-filled. Backup policy. So I can see that there is a backup daily. So I can see that 7:30 p.m., which is outside office hours, or working hours on the universal time clock, it will be backed up. Okay, it's for me this is outside office hours. And then I have retention, which is by default. Let me check if I would change here to transaction optimize, then I still get actually the same ones. If I go back and check for hot, then I still get the same ones. And then you can see that the maximum input output per seconds doesn't change, and the maximum capacity also doesn't change. And here we also have the SME protocol, which I mentioned. For now, you just need to know that it's using protocol. You don't need to go through these scripts. For example, when you open here, you will get a resource for the scripts, but you don't need this for all the documentation for Azure fundamentals. So I go next. review, and then I will start a create. By the way, I can here download a template, and you can see. So this is also interesting one. This is a template which you can later reuse, but this is more for like a developer course, not for a fundamentals course. For I'm not going to deep dive into this, but be aware. You can copy the content, you can deploy, download. There are parameters you can come up with, but I just wanted to show you the option. One moment. I need to create again. Running final validation, and then the validation is passed. I have the button enabled. Yeah, and then I have my file sample storage. If I could go to browse, or here I can for example, I can create directory, my directory, and then inside directory I can add another directory, and that's how it works. And then I can basically upload everything. Sorry. Yes, and if I go here, then okay, we got problem again. Let me see how we can solve it. Access control maybe. Yeah, now when you have this file, you can you can basically interact with this when you have the SMAB protocol. So this will be done for you by some kind of administrator. Okay, and now, for example, you can create different directories. You can upload files straight away. So I will upload my invoice. When I want to access this again, I will get the same problem because I need a proper protocol for this, not HTTP. Yes, so to use this, if you would like to, for example, use this link, then basically this is the use case that you want to access via URL. Then you will want to use the blob storage, because here you cannot access via HTTP, the same. It will be the same error with access here, because you need the SMB protocol configured for you. But for now, you don't need to know about that. So to summarize, it's providing the file storage provides SMB file shares in the cloud. They're compatible with Windows, Linux, macOS, all these machines. There were a couple of tiers you could see depending what you want. There is also a tool called Azure File Sync. So Azure File Sync is when you want to have a hybrid cloud for hybrid cloud solutions. For example, okay, this is not hybrid. Yeah, but in general, you can also use it for a hybrid cloud solution where you have different types of clouds. That's Microsoft also thought about. Yeah, there are automatic backups. What you have seen, there's disaster recovery, and in terms of security and compliance, is enterprise grade, like everything in Azure. Maybe it was a bit blurry. What's the difference between blob and file storage? But we have seen this. One of them, when you want to access via URL, you want to use a blob storage, because the file storage is not something to be accessed via URL. That's why I have Azure storage, where I will also slightly compare the remaining storages account, and which are under umbrella of Azure storage, and blob storage and file storage is also under Azure storage. So the Azure storage will be the last class I will talk about storage in this section. Well, thank you for watching, and then I will see you in the next class.